Welcome back to Rip City Rundown. This is episode 14 of the podcast, and today we will be doing an all-time Blazers draft. Not a lot of news today. It's kind of slow. The same old coach search, McCollum trade scenarios, but we've been over that. So we're going to do an all-time Blazers draft today, and what that means is we are both going to draft what we think to be the best Blazer team of all time. So not only does it have to be the best players, that's to fit. So, or you can go with the best player route, but just hypothetical teams of the best Blazers of all time, all eras throughout the whole franchise. So we will do that. Also, new intro. See if you like it or not.
Yeah, I worked on the new intro a little bit. Wanted to give it more of a Blazers flair instead of just some random music. But yeah, our draft today we'll be doing. Did we decide on 8 or 10-man rotations?
We'll do 10.
We're gonna go 10-man rotations. That
10
you
deep.
can do it however you want to. If you want to go no backup center, you can. But you have to try to make this team make sense. You can't take
You can't just take
because the Blazers have a history of some pretty good power forwards. So should we go and start? You want to get first pick?
You can go first.
I got first pick. I don't know if I won first pick.
Well, you got to pick.
But I'm gonna take Damian Lillard. I think there's 3 options. Obviously, you got the big 3 for Blazers history and talented players.
What's the thing? Whoever goes first is going to get 2 of the big 3.
Yeah, that is the good point. You got Clyde Drexler, Damian Lillard, and Bill Walton. But I
Mm-hmm.
go Damian Lillard because of his consistency with the Blazers and scoring. He's going to end up all-time scoring numbers. The best player. He's probably one of the best players the Blazers have ever seen, and the guy that stayed with them his whole career. So I'm going Damian Lillard.
With my first pick, this is very tough because both Bill Walton and Clyde Drexler are Blazer legends. However, I'm going to go with Clyde Drexler, and the reason why is because probably from a pure athletic standpoint, he might be the most athletic Blazer we've ever seen. And I think that's what I'm going to go with my team. Just good, switchability across all positions. Bill Walton was a beast, but I think with the way athletes are today, they're bigger, stronger, faster. I'm not saying Bill Walton would be clamped, but I don't think he's going to, I don't know. I'm going Clyde Drexler because he was athletic.
He goes Clyde Drexler, so obviously with my next pick, I'm going to take Bill Walton, the last of the big 3 Blazers history. I mean, he's got an MVP. He's the only Blazer with an MVP. He's won the Blazers their only championship. He averaged a double-double in all his seasons with the Blazers. Now, the issue with him is he only played 4 seasons for the Blazers, but just his peak was amazing with the MVP, averaging 19 and 15 that season, and even 5 assists. So Bill Walton will run a little pick and roll with Damian Lillard, and those
nasty.
are my first 2 picks.
Okay, my next pick, my second pick. This one's so tough. Gosh. Just because of, again, with what I want to do with my lineup and championship experience, I'm going to go with Scottie Pippen. I'm going Scottie Pippen because Drexler and Scottie are going to be the 1-2 defensive punch, and Drexler will go offense and Pippen will go defense. We're going pure just basketball fit here. So I'm going Scottie Pippen to shore up the wing defense. He'll go small forward. Drexler starting at shooting guard.
Okay, so Scottie Pippen, I wasn't really expecting that, but I mean, once you get past the big 3, you got so many options you can go. With my third pick, I'm looking at the power forward position, and there's 2 that catch my eye. It is Rasheed Wallace and LaMarcus Aldridge. Obviously, we're both great Trailblazer players, but I think I have enough offense on this team, so I'm going to go Rasheed Wallace. His peak was probably that 2000 Western Conference Finals run. His most points he averaged with the Blazers was 19. He was a big block guy, averaging at least 1 to 2 a game. So he's going to bring that grittiness and defense to my team. And, I mean, he had a big, 7-year stint with the Blazers. Was a big, gritty defender. And was kind of the force of that Western Conference Finals team. So I'm going to take Rasheed Wallace.
Okay, good pick. With my next pick, I guess this would be my third pick. I think I'm also going to have to go with the power forward position. And I'm going to go with, I'm going to go with LaMarcus Aldridge. Probably the best overall talent left, I would say. Obviously, we all know Aldridge, drafted from Texas. He was a beast for the Blazers. Kind of bridged the gap between the Jail Blazers and now what we have today with Dame. It was him and Brandon Roy and Odin. And that threesome was disgusting until they got hurt. And we know Aldridge left in free agency to the Spurs, kind of set the franchise back. Wasn't a very good play. We all hated Aldridge for a brief moment there. But he was a beast. And I'm going to go with Aldridge for the power forward position.
So with my pick, I've got my two bigs down low already in with the team ready to go. A lot of good bigs for the Blazers in the past. Obviously the power forward position, but also a couple good centers. But I'm going to get ourselves a nasty little backcourt, probably arguably better than the backcourt we have now. I'm not going to go CJ McCollum because despite his consistency with the Blazers, I don't want him to be with Damian Lillard again because obviously that hasn't worked. So I'm going to go with a big shooting guard, 6'6", Brandon Roy. Had one of the best peaks you've seen from a Blazer player from his rookie season on to the 2011 season. I mean, he averaged up to 23 points in the season, up 6 assists. He's a big guard, so he does play some defense. And, I mean, if it wasn't for his injuries, we could still be talking about Brandon Roy with his team right now, also as one of the greatest Blazers ever. So Brandon Roy is going to be in my backcourt with Damian Lillard, and I love that.
Solid pick. I'm going to go with... So right now I have Drexler, Pippen, and LaMarcus Aldridge. This is a tough one because I'm not sure which direction I should go. I think just to combat Bill Walton, not necessarily this guy will play a lot of minutes on this hypothetical team because I might go small. But I'm going to go with Arvydas Sabonis. He was an animal. He played in Europe for a while. But he comes over to the Blazers. Obviously, he's the dad of Domantas Sabonis, who plays for the Pacers, who, side note, that's where Terry Stotts might end up next. Might end up in the Pacers. Maybe CJ gets us a deal.
That was a little bit of news from today. I'm kind of mad at taking Sabonis, though. I was hoping he fell a little bit.
I'm going Sabonis only because, for me, the big centers, I don't know. Like in terms of sheer size to combat Bill Walton, it would have been Sabonis or it would have been Odin. Odin's got knee problems. So I'm going to go with Sabonis. Sabonis had pretty good touch around the rim. He was definitely, okay, let's just start here. Not as good as Bill Walton. That's just straight up. But I think in terms of sheer size and like skill-wise for a big man, he's next down. He's the next rung down. He's the most talented big center left from this Blazer franchise. So I'm going to go with Sabonis to start at center.
And that was a guy that I was hoping I could get coming off my bench. But now I have my fifth pick of the draft, and I've not picked a small forward yet, and I'm not sure if I'm going to go small forward yet either. The Blazers have their great guards in the past, their great forwards, their great centers, but small forward, I would say, is probably the weakest position. So what I am actually going to do is I'm going to take a backup point guard. I know I have Damian Lillard, but maybe we go small at the end of the game and Brandon Roy runs a little three. So I'm going to take Terry Porter, who was the man for those not championship teams, those teams that made deep playoff runs in the late 80s and early 90s. I mean, he was with Portland for about 10 years, I think. Averaged up to 18 when he was with them. The man that was making all the assists. He even got double-digit assists a couple years. So I'm going to take Terry Porter to be my backup point guard and maybe play point guard and Dame run some shooting guard if Brandon Roy needs some rest.
Very interesting pick. I did not expect that because Terry Porter is a starter. He was going to be my point guard. I would have taken him. But, you want to bring him off the bench, that's fine. That means I do not need to go point guard now because I don't think he'll pick another one for the rest. So I'm just going to start going with depth and switchability here. So I'm going to go with, it's a tough one. I'm going to go with Maurice Lucas. And this guy played a while ago. He was a power forward. And was he on the championship team? I don't think so. He was not.
I don't think he was.
No, he was. He was. He was. I'm sorry.
I'm thinking of the wrong guy.
Yeah, sorry. I apologize. He was the power forward. I'm sorry. Our dog's in here. Apologies there. Thank you. So sorry, I'm gonna go with Maurice Lucas. He was the power forward next to Bill Walton. He was kind of Bill Walton's Robin in a sense, but 6'9". He was on the NBA All Defensive team when we won the championship, so he is a dog on the defensive end, and pretty sure he probably averaged 20 and 11. He was very good. So I'm gonna go with Maurice Lucas to come off the bench behind Aldridge, or maybe if we want to start small next to Aldridge instead of Sabonis at center. So I'm gonna go with Maurice Lucas.
So now I will go not power forward, small forward. I've got a couple options, but I'm going to go with a guy that was on the Blazers. He left just prior to the championship season. He was there from about 71 to 76, and a lot of people don't know who this is, but I'm going to go with Sidney Wicks. This guy's a scorer. I mean, I honestly didn't know much about this guy until I did my research for this draft.
And he's from the early years.
24 points a game in his rookie season. And averaged 20 for 4 straight seasons, 19 in his last season with the Blazers. And he was a rebounding machine, averaging almost 10 rebounds in all his seasons except for one. So he's a guy that stuffed the stat sheet. Not sure about his play style. Hopefully he fits besides all my players. But, I mean, when you're creating an all-star lineup, it's just you go with the best player available. And I'm going to go with Sidney Wicks.
Interesting. Okay, so my next pick, I'm going to go with a guy that, to be honest, I probably was not going to take until Terry Porter got taken. That kind of surprised me. But I'm going to go with the Blazer point guard who led the Blazers to the Western Conference Finals in 2000. Did fall short of the Lakers, but he was, he played for Toronto, and then he moved to Portland. And, he was solid, averaged 13, 12, brought good defense, a little undersized. I believe he was 5'11", but he was a very solid player, and that is Damon Stoudemire. So I'm going to go with Damon Stoudemire as my starting point guard. He's not going to be where we get the buckets. He's not going to be like Dame or Terry Porter. He's going to be more of a pass-first defense guy. But I'm going to go with Damon Stoudemire as my starting point guard. I already know who you're going with next, and it's pissing me off.
What's pissing you off?
Your next pick.
Okay. But I'm going to take as my backup power forward. He might be able to run a little center if needed, or a little small forward if we want to go big. But I'm going to take Buck Williams, defensive guy, 4-time All-Defense, 3-time All-Star, and was even the Rookie of the Year in, I think, 1981. But he's going to be a defensive anchor, similar to Rasheed Wallace. I mean, if we want to go super defensive down low, we can run Rasheed Wallace at center with Buck Williams at power forward. Or, heck, we could even run Buck Williams at small forward. He's only 6'8". So I'm going to take Buck Williams as my power forward.
Interesting. Okay, so my next guy, I have 2 power forwards with Aldridge and Lucas right now, and Sabonis at center. I'm probably going to need to grab one more forward, but I'm going to hold off on that. I need to bolster the backcourt here. So I'm going to go with the guy that's going to come off the bench and just be an absolute microwave scorer, and I'm going with Kiki Vanderwee. He averaged, I believe, his peak Blazer season, he averaged 28 on 48% from 3. Did not play a lot. Did not play much defense, if at all. But he's going to go for 6-man on this team. He's going to come in to score, especially because backcourt scoring right now. Drexler obviously will play shooting guard. Pretty big shooting guard. So he's going to more be a defensive shooting guard, and Damon Stoudemire is going to be more a defensive point guard. So I'm bringing Kiki Vanderwee off the bench to get some minutes and fill it up from the outside. So I'm going Kiki.
Okay. So he goes Kiki. That was going to be a guy I was actually going to pick next to be my microwave scorer off the bench. So I guess I'm going to have to go another way. And I'm going to go present day. A guy that hopefully maybe we haven't seen him in his last day in a Blazer uniform, but we might have. I'm going to take CJ McCollum. A thing that I want to see possibly happen, and you've talked about it a lot, see him come off the bench in today's NBA. Because he really has the qualities of a great scorer, and he could be a Lou Williams type guy. He's going to come off my bench, just score the ball, run the second unit with Terry Porter. And, I mean, those 2 backup guards, that's a pretty good way to do it. So I'm going to take CJ McCollum. All
right, my next guy, I'm going to go with another forward, continue to bolster that forward rotation right now. I have Pippen, Aldridge, and Maurice Lucas. So this guy can run some backup small forward. Also, Drexler can slide into small forward. But this guy also is probably mainly a power forward, but he was 6'7", so you could also run him at small forward. But this guy played for the he played for the finals team in 1990 and 1991. He averaged about 16 and I would say like 8. I think it was like 16 and 8. Absolute dog on defense. Could rebound very well for his size, and that is Jerome Kersey. I'm going with Jerome Kersey. Championship experience because he got to the finals. Got destroyed by Michael Jordan, but what are you going to do? So I'm going to go with Jerome Kersey to continue that defense.
Yeah, Jerome Kersey, I actually had him pulled up on my computer. He was going to be my next pick. So again, you take a forward. So by holding off on the forwards, kind of hurting me. But that just means I'm going to go with my last forward I have on the roster, and that is Cliff Robinson. He can actually even play some power forward. He's listed as actually power forward, small forward, and center. So he can play any of those positions, like I said. We may even scoot Buck Williams to small forward, just given the size difference. But Cliff Robinson had a good 8-year stint with the Blazers, averaged at most 21. He never a flamethrower from 3, but in his late years, put 37% from 3. He was a guy that was an Iron Man too. I mean, he played 82 games for his first 5 seasons, so he didn't miss a game in his first 5 seasons, and still never missed more than 5 games in a season. So he's going to be coming off my bench and just be a consistent guy to just play good basketball.
Next guy I'm going to go with, this is going to be more for just leadership. I don't know if he'll get a ton of minutes. He actually probably will as the backup point guard. I was between Jeff Petrie and Jim Paxson. And I really didn't know who to go with because Petrie could absolutely score it, and Paxson has the championship experience with the Bulls. Are we going just with their Blazer time, or can we pull from other?
I'll say you can pull a little bit from others, but you got majority of it has to be Blazer time because that is what we're doing.
I gotcha. Okay, well then in that case, I will probably go with Jeff Petrie. He averaged in his peak 25 for the Blazers in 1972. So this guy knew how to score the ball. Never a huge assist guy, but the reason, if we're going just purely off a Blazer career, Jeff Petrie was better than Jim Paxson. Jim Paxson was a beast for the Bulls in his championship seasons. So I'm going to go with Jeff Petrie, another scorer off the bench. Him and Kiki can come off the bench and give the Blazers some microwave scoring.
You got a lot of microwave scoring off the bench there, but you never can go wrong with too much scoring. My last pick of the draft, I need a backup center. I've actually got a pretty big second unit. I mean, CJ McCollum and Terry Porter obviously a little undersized for their guard positions, but I mean everyone else is above 6'8", and you got a 6'10" small forward. But I'm going to take Michael Thompson. Started with the Blazers. He actually came in right after Bill Walton left the Blazers. Then he finished out his career in Los Angeles. But in his time with the Blazers, for the 6 seasons he had, hovered around that 15 to 18 scoring mark and always got majority of the time at least 8 to 11 rebounds a game. So he is just going to be a guy to come and get rebounds, play, and just give Bill Walton time on the bench, give him some stints of rest because even Rasheed Wallace can play some center. So I like my center rotation down low.
That's your last pick, right?
Final pick.
Yeah. Okay, my final pick. Again, I'm torn between 3 guys. Actually, more 2. But I just don't know because I think I need to keep loading up on power forwards because Sabonis is my only true center, and I think I'm going to go small a lot of the time with Aldridge and Maurice Lucas and Jerome Kersey. But I think just to get one more solid power forward, this was tough. I'm going to go with Zach Randolph, Jailblazer era. To be honest, I was alive when the Jailblazers, towards the tail end, and I remember a little bit of Zach Randolph. He was, I don't know, this is a weird comparison, but he kind of had some Zion. I think Zion is far and away better.
He played bully ball.
He played bully ball around the rim. And Zach Randolph kind of epitomized the Jailblazer era, just kind of really dirty and nasty just around the rim. Had a mean streak, But he was our number 1 option for a while. And he was a pretty good scorer, but he also gave great defense, even though he was a little undersized. if I remember correctly. So I'm gonna go with Zach Randolph as my 10th and final pick to round out the roster. So that is my team. I will say a couple guys we left out that could have very easily made this team. Jim Paxson, very could have easily made this team. Gerald Wallace, I think could have made the team. Lionel Hollins could have made the team. That was the guy who I could have gone with, but I already had Kiki off the bench. Lionel Hollins was on that championship team in 1977. So that one was tough. Yeah, there he is. Other guys that we might have missed, Rod Strickland. He was a very good player. Brian Grant. I don't know. Kevin Duckworth.
Even Nick Batum.
Yeah, Batum. He plays for the Clippers, though, so I'm not going to pick him.
So just to round out our teams, I'll go through mine first. It's been on the screen this whole time if you are on the video version, but if you're listening, the audio version, we'll read it out one more time. So my starting lineup will go Damian Lillard, Brandon Roy, Sidney Wicks, Rasheed Wallace, and Bill Walton. And then off the bench, I've got Terry Porter, C.J. McCollum, Cliff Robinson, Buck Williams, and Michael Thompson.
And my starting lineup is Damon Stoudemire at point guard, Clyde Drexler, Scottie Pippen, LaMarcus Aldridge, and Arvydas Sabonis. And off the bench, I have Jerome Kersey, Maurice Lucas, Jeff Petrie, Kiki Vanderwee, and Zach Randolph. So those are our teams. Comment below who you think has the better team. They're both very equal. These are probably the top 20 Blazer players of all time. So you really can't go wrong with anyone. But yeah, that was a little fun exercise we did. Not a lot of news going on in the Blazer world right now. There is. It's just old news with coaching and stuff. So it was fun to kind of do this, look back at the great players who played for the Blazers, kind of put together a team. And yeah, so that was that. Anything else?
I mean, that'll be it. If you like this type of stuff, just let us know in the comments. And then if you feel like there was a player we left out, let us know too.
Yeah, please let us know. I don't think we missed anyone of significance, but we definitely might have.
And if you are listening in this portion, comment down below what you thought the biggest surprise pick of the draft was. Just to see.
Mine was you picking Terry Porter that early. But
yeah, I mean, I just wanted to get a best player coming off the bench.
Fine.
But that's going to do it for the video. Make sure to subscribe. We're trying to hit 1,000 subscribers soon. And drop us a like and keep listening in the future. That'll be it. Peace.